get. I know these are speakers, are people that they are resourceful people. And I'm sure that you will learn tangible things that you can go home with. Before we start, we have a pre-evaluation that we just go through. It's just 12 slides. And I just want us to follow through it. Please, from the media, please, the first slide. Marketing is listening to Dash. Hey, customer. B is what? Retailers. The second slide, please. Marketing add value. It creates utility, which are form, time, place, ownership, utility, sales. The B part is sales, buyer, channel, manufacturer, utility. You choose B. Okay. Let's go on the third slide. The third slide, please. 5 factors dominate the minds of the buyers when they are screening potential suppliers, which are service, price, quality, reliable delivery, and speedy delivery. Short time, mid time, long time delivery, time, speedy delivery, time, quality. Just choose one out of the two. You see, the fourth slide. What describe how a business win, retain, and develop customer? Is it customer strategy? B, is it sales strategy? Okay, the fifth slide. 2 out of the 4 V's we have are variety and velocity, value and verification. B, okay. When the sixth slide, every business begins with idea generation. B, funding. Okay, somebody said funding. Seventh slide. The 7th slide, please. Okay, 3 broad areas to scan are inward self, environmental and market scan, capital, that's B now, capital, market, and professional scan. If somebody said B, somebody said A, it's okay. The 8th slide. Incubating has to do with drawing up an imaginative plan that is challenging and achievable. B, sourcing for professional to brainstorm on your idea. The 9th slide. What do you plan? What do you plan? Do you plan production, marketing, and finance/funding? Or do you plan supply chain, family, and production? Okay, the 10th slide. Sources of finance are 1. Personal, loan, and hybrid, the combination. Sources of finance are BOI, LTF, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and Central Bank of Nigeria. The 11th slide. Every loan has a risk. Is it true or false? The last slide. Investments are treasure bills, bonds and capital stock markets. True or false? Thank you. Please, can you please appreciate our speaker once again? It's just for us to, I would like to call on Daddy Shiombola as they start the class with us.
Good morning, friends. Yeah, it's exciting actually to be here this morning, and I'd like to congratulate Olaolu and his team for putting this program together. It's one of the things that we have sought for over a long period of time, for us to be able to interact not only at the worship level, but also at what I call and describe as the total worship experience level. You see, what we have been having is a part worship. Now, the inclusion of things like this, is what gives or grants us the opportunity to worship holistically. And that is basically what we discover, that worship is not just about coming to church. It's the totality of who we are and what we do. And that is basically what this is going to serve. I don't have a lot of time this morning, and I'm so sorry, because I have to be at another place at 11 o'clock to minister in the place. Because I thought that this program was going to start on the dot of 9 o'clock, and I was going to spend 45 minutes. I felt that that program could go on. So I'm so sorry. If I cannot finish, I have two gentlemen who are my elder brothers. The two of them are my elder brothers. They are competent enough to continue wherever I stop. Now, very quickly, I don't have a lot of time. I'm going to speak directly to what I have to talk about. The first thing is a simple question. What is marketing? Just a simple question. What is marketing? Now, people in the classroom, they will describe marketing as all manners of things. A program, a system, a systematic, a plan. They will describe it. But in reality, what is marketing? And this informs all of the things I'm going to be saying. And when you listen to these two gentlemen, the things that they are saying are not the things that you can read from the books. There is a book they call What You Don't Learn at Harvard. There is a book like that, what you don't learn. There are things they don't teach you in the classroom at all. You have to learn because you have a hands-on experience. And that is basically what we are going to be doing. Now, so when you talk about marketing, what does it mean? Number one, marketing is listening to customers. Hello? Now, if you have a business or you want to have a business and you have not listened to customers, you can't do anything called marketing. Hello? Do you understand me? It's about listening to customers. Who are customers? Customers are people who will buy from you. Whatever you are selling, whatever it is that you are selling, your customers are people who are ready to buy. And who are those customers? They are people who have money to buy. A customer is someone who has money to buy, whom you can reach. You can talk to the fellow, or the fellow can come to you. Who has a need? He has a need for your product. Now, look, several times you pass on the road and people are hawking things, and because you don't have a need, do you look their direction? So a customer is a fellow who has a need. And then the third one and the fourth one is that he is ready to buy. Let me go over that again. Who is a customer? A customer is one who has a need, who has money to buy, whom you can get to, and who is willing to buy. Four things that makes up a customer. Now, a lot of you work and you are not searching for customers because you are talking to wrong people. From what I've just said, it's not everybody that can be your customer. Do you agree with me? It's not everybody that. So what we are saying is that if you are talking about marketing, it's about listening to customers, and customers being people who have money to buy, who have a need, who are willing to buy, and who you can reach. Are we fine? Okay, good. Then the second thing I'm talking about is that marketing is about communicating clearly what you have on offer to your customer. It's about telling them simply, clearly, what you actually have to give to them. What are you given? good thing that you have that you want to share with them, you must be able to put it very simply and very clearly, and then for the other fellow to understand. It must not be ambiguous at all. I'm going to be making a lot of examples as we go on. And then number 3 is that marketing is about maintaining valid claims. It's about maintaining a valid claim. It's about saying something about yourself, about your company, and about your product. Valid claims. Now, if I talk about this water, I will talk, you want to market this water. It's like talking about this Nirvana water, what it is, talking about myself when I want to sell it to you, and it's also about talking about the company that makes it. Now, if you can combine those 3 together, they will help you to sell this water. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, when you remove one of those 3, they create a hole in your ability to sell this particular water. And you will see why that is so important as we go on. All right? And then finally, marketing is about value. It's about delivering something that satisfies. It doesn't matter how much you have spent in your factory. If at the end of the day what comes out cannot give value or deliver satisfaction, nobody is going to buy from you. Hello, do you understand what I'm saying now? Do you understand now what I'm saying? Now, what will people buy? What will people buy? People will, every one of you here, there are only 4 things you are looking for. And this is sound in theory. But in practice, we have seen that that is what holds. Now, if you can't sell at least one of these 4 things, it's unlikely that your product will sell in the market to customers. You only need to focus. That's why from the beginning, when you are thinking of an idea, you must be thinking of an idea that incorporates these 4 things. If it does not incorporate these 4 things, it is either that you will start that business and it will die very suddenly. Or you cannot even start it. Because nobody will endure with your company or with your product for a long time when you are not selling any of these, these 4 utilities. Do you understand what I'm saying? What are these 4 things? Number 1, the form must be what the customer wants. You know, the reason Nigerian products were not selling for a long time was that they were put in a bad form. Hello? How many of us are aware about what I'm saying? Do you understand? The Nigerian product is not changed. The Dudu Osun product, the Oshe Dudu, Tonfinwe, in the holding days has not changed. But the form has changed. That is why you and I can buy it. I don't know if you understood what I'm saying. So the form is a very important thing to the customer. If you cannot give the customer the kind of form that he wants, he will not buy. He can mistakenly buy your product, but he will soon drop it. Hello, do you understand what I'm saying? So you need to understand the form is a very important thing that the customer is always asking for. And that's why you can go on the streets and people are selling and you can say, please come. You are beckoning to somebody because you have seen a form of a particular thing that you desire to buy. Does that make sense to all of us? So the form is important. Now, the form cannot be static. Now, that's one thing we didn't understand. If you want to keep selling and keep selling and keep selling and keep selling, the form that you present it cannot be static. Why? Because the form the customer wants is not static. Do you understand what I'm saying here? All right. Now, I'm going to show you something. I know my brother is going to use it for a different thing. How many of us have seen this before? How many of us have seen this before? How many of us have seen this before? None. Nobody has seen this before. Fine. But let me ask you this question. What do you think informs the form of this particular bottle? Amongst many other reasons, what will you think informed the form of this particular bottle? Yes. What? Because of children? Yes. 1. Yes. Yes. Because of the price? Yes. Okay, everybody will be able to afford to buy the Coke? Yes. Any other? Yes.
Just to make it distinct from others.
Okay, just to make it different from all others, yes. Now let me ask you, would you like to buy this Coke? The carriage, okay. Taking it, yeah, okay. Distribution, okay. Yep. How many of you would like to buy this Coke? The rest of you will not like to buy this Coke. Okay. All right now. But let me tell you something. Coke understand the meaning of changing form. Now they know that around the world, everybody is already speaking about health issues. Is that not correct? Is that not correct? Now, but they know that people are addicted to Coke. So instead of taking the big one, you can take this small one. And those who love Coke will just say, okay, yeah, I like taking Coke. For instance, I was buying Coke, and I would drink only half of the bottle at a time. Now, if they bring this one to me, what am I going to do? I will just simply buy this. That is changing form. It then means that those people who love the health issues, they're no longer going to say, I'm going to run away from Coke. But I know the kind of size that I'm going to buy. But it may also be for all those other reasons that you have spelled out. What I'm trying to emphasize here is about the changing form. It must be in line with what the customer wants. It's not according to what you want or what is convenient for you. Do you understand me? A lot of times what you are doing is you are doing things that is convenient for you, not for the customer. Is that okay? Are we good? All right. Then the second thing is time. Can you give it to me at the time that I want it? Are you always giving your product to the people at the time they want it? Why do you think that street trading is thriving? Who knows? Why do you think it's thriving? Yes, why do you think street trading is thriving? Is it? Yes. Now, the reason is this. One of the reasons, there are other reasons, but one of the reasons is this. The time you are thinking about it, that time is that's what they call real time. At the time you are just thinking about that particular product, is the time you will see it on the street. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is basically what the customer wants. That is why street trading will not die. That's why, because everybody, every one of us will respond to those things just as we are thinking about it. You can just put your hand on it and then you can buy it. Now, why is it that on the road, people don't discriminate between Nestle water and Nirvana water? Why do you think so, that they don't discriminate on the road? Why do you think they don't discriminate about the water? Oh, quickly tell me. You should know by now. Yeah, there is a need. There is a need for water. And it's not a time to begin to ask for, oh, is this a Nestle water? No. Just buy the one that is on time. Do you understand me? You need to understand these principles. They're very small, but they're very profound. Are you giving your product to people on time? So those of you who do work and then they say deliver, you are a mechanic, you are an electrician, you are whatever, and they say, please come and do this thing for me. I want it done by midday. And then you don't deliver until 2 weeks' time. Will they call you again? That's what we are saying. It's about time. So everything you are doing, you must understand the principle of time to the customer, not to you. It's not at your time. You cannot sell to people unless you are selling at their time, not at your own time. Do you understand? It does not matter what you are doing. That's it. The second one. The third one, it's about place utility. When I walk in there, can I get it? Will I get it? Or can you bring it to me? That's why people can put goods in the boot of their car and they drive to the place where the customers are, and then they just say, come and see. And so because it is available at that place, what happens? People will buy. Sometimes people who will come to check your boot, they will buy not because they actually wanted to buy initially, but because of what? The place utility. Because you have brought it to them, they can buy. Now, when you say you are selling something, is it always available? Do you take it to the place where people want it? or you keep it in a place where they don't want it. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So you must take it to the place, because one of the fundamental things that people are looking for is for it to be available in the place where they need it. Is that okay? Now, when you don't keep it, so if you sell inside the market, for instance, and you are hidden in the marketplace, you may not get many customers. So that's why you find people are always scrambling for what? The front place in the marketplace. Because of what? It's the place, utility. That when I'm walking on the streets, I can see the product and I can say, okay, I'd like to buy this product. Now, when you don't create the place utility, you lose customers. That's very important. Now, the reason one of the reasons the mall thrives is what? Is what? Place utility. Why? The reason is that when you get into the mall, you can think of 1,001 things you want to buy. You will do what? You will get it there. That's why people go there. That's why people go there. Because it does not matter what you are thinking in your mind. Even those things you are not thinking, when you get to the mall, you will get it to buy. Why is it that people are able to sell in a big marketplace where there are several people that are selling? The reason is that people who are coming, customers who are coming to buy, they already know that if they get into that market, whatever they want, they will get it there. So the place is important. So every time your customer asks you for something and you don't have it, it's a minus for you. It's a minus for you. What it means that customer may not ask you again. And so the reason, sometimes those of you who sell petty things, and they come and say, I like to have a toothpaste, and they say, I don't have. Sorry for you. What it means is you are losing a customer. Because that customer may never come to ask even for the things you have again. So because the place thing is so important to people that unless you can meet as a seller, you can meet up to that, you are not going to be able to sell to them. And then finally, the fourth one is about ownership. When I come to you, can I take ownership of what I'm buying? Can I take ownership of it? Now, let me explain that a little more, because that is very deep. How will people take ownership of something that you are selling? They take ownership only if that thing will give them a pride inside of them. Hello? Now, if I buy this water and my elder brother sees it in my hands, Brabimbo, why did you buy this kind of water? This water is no good. What do you think is going to happen next time? That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Nobody is going, unless I can take ownership. But if I buy this water and he sees it and he says, oh, who is making this water? This looks so good. This packaging is fine. And what do you think is going to happen? I will buy it again. That's exactly what happened. We call it the principle of dissonance. Now, it's a principle of ownership. Can I take ownership of what I'm buying from you? If I cannot take ownership of it, I will not come back again. Now, if I buy a toothpaste from you, the toothpaste is good, fine, I will come back. Because the principle of selling is about coming back again. It's not about buying once. Hello? Do you understand what I'm saying? If you are selling something, if you are an artisan, if you are a worker, if you are a consultant, whatever you are, if people will only come to you once and they won't come again, that's the end of your business. It will soon die. It will soon die. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, in marketing is about ensuring that you can have repeat purchases all the way. If you are not having repeat purchases, you are not going to be able to survive in business. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Hello, do you understand me? Is it very clear? Can you apply that to your business now? Can you all apply it to your business? That's it. Once you understood these four things, so what it then means in marketing is that when you are trying to generate an idea, when you are trying to put together your idea, you must put those ideas together in such a way that you can provide those four utilities. Do you understand me now? That's it. So when you are thinking about your idea from the beginning, you are thinking about an idea, you must package these four things. If you cannot provide the four, provide at least the three of them. But if I were, I will try to provide the four. Because the companies that try, they provide the four. Do you understand now? So you package it along. And you keep on doing what? You keep on giving those four utilities all through the life of your business. For as long as you can keep giving those 4 utilities, your business will continue to grow. Simple rule about rationality measurement of every human being. Any question about that? That's the foundation for what I want to teach. Any question? That's the foundation. Any question? Let me take your question. Yes, let me take your question. I pause to take your question or comment. Yes, sir.
On the last point, which is about ownership, I'm just wondering how the link between ownership by the manufacturer or someone who gives that service and repeat customers. I understand the principle of repeat customers. That's what the customer keeps coming back. So how are you linking this with ownership?
Yeah, what I'm saying here is this, that you see, as the seller or as the manufacturer, your business is not to do something that pleases you. Hello? But you do something that pleases who? That's it. That's your business. Every time, your business is about thinking about the customer. It's not about thinking about your machines. That is not to say you're not going to think about your machines. But you see, if you put too much emphasis on your machine and you turn up a product that customers will not buy, what's going to happen to your machine? It will rot away. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So, it's the most important thing really for you is to think about your customer. Who is going to buy from me? Who is going to buy from me? What do they want? They want 4 things. They want the form utility, they want the time utility, they want the place utility, they want ownership utility. That word utility that I'm using is just satisfaction. Don't worry yourself. It's just about satisfaction. It just means, can you give me that satisfaction? Yes, sir. Contribution. Okay.
Your product, what I bought from you. Am I proud to own it? Can I show somebody, see what I have bought? Like, use my slippers. I have had to show it to people,
Very nice. Please copy me.
Yeah.
Please copy me.
And where I bought it?
Yes, I know.
That convenient.
Yes,
That you can get it on time.
that's it.
So you want the customer to take ownership?
Yeah. Not from you, not from the manufacturer or the owner or the fellow. It's the customer that must be able to take ownership. They must be able to own what you are selling to them. Now, if I cannot own it, then I will not buy again. Do you understand the point we are there? Unless I can own what you are selling to me, I will not buy again. Yes. Good.
In my house, you use LG. You use LG. Yes, I will buy LG. Look, we only take Coca-Cola in our house. No any other drink. So Coca-Cola is no good like that. Yes. So anything we do, we are doing. We just begin to build brand.
That's it. So, do you understand now? It's something that is already inbuilt inside of us. So, that's why I'm talking about they are fundamental to every man. Every man, every woman. It does not matter whether you are white or black or red. Every man that is made by God, we value these 4 things. Every man. And that's why you have to play on it for you to be able to sell your product. Hello? Is that okay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Customer. That's when they will buy. Yeah, absolutely, sir. Excellent, excellent. Okay. All right. So, gone are the days when you make a very good product and you leave it there and you say people will come looking for it. That was true when there were not too many products. But today there are how many what? There are too many products. So there are too many producers. So people will not look for your product if you don't keep it in the place where they will, where they can buy it. All right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. The first one was the form. Please sit down, man. The first one I spoke about was form. You must give to customers anything you are selling in the form in which they want it. If you put it in the form in which you like it, they will not buy. Or they may buy once and don't come back again. So you have to put it in the form in which they like it. And that's why before you came, we were using this Coke bottle, this new Coke bottle as an example. And one of the things we said is that the form must keep changing in line with the changing requirement of the customer. Now, if you keep the form of your product in the same way, then they will soon leave you. One day, we were going to a church to minister. And when you pass this way, and you get to that junction, and you drive, and then you turn, we saw two Toyota brands. One was a 1980 brand, and the other one was a 2017 brand. Both of them were parked. Guess what was happening? They opened the bonnet of the 1981 and they were trying to fix something on it. The 2017 one was right behind it, and the man was standing trying to help them. And then something occurred to me, and we were sharing in the car. I said, look at it. That is changing form. Now, when the form don't change, they will always break down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, people will not value the form that has remained static. They will always look for a new form of what they want to buy. Now, if you keep selling the old form and I begin to sell the new form, your customers will come to me to buy from me because I'm selling the new form. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So it's about a changing form. Is a very important thing in form satisfaction, form utility. Is that okay? And then the last one was ownership. Was that people will buy because they can take ownership. If they cannot take ownership, they will not buy. Even if they buy once, they will not buy again. And what makes your business to succeed is people who keep on buying. It's not people who buy only once. Do you understand? What will make your business to succeed is people who keep on buying, who keep on buying, who keep on buying. And that's basically what we have. And I was sharing with my brothers. I said, look, do you know what? Even God understood the issue of these utilities. There are several ways. One of the ways is that God changed the Old Testament to New Testament. Listen to me. This is the way it worked. God looked at the way of worship in the Old Testament and felt, that's not going to be convenient for people going forward. Do you imagine that if we were still operating in the worship era of the Old Testament, will we need to put this place in a mountain or craft a tabernacle and then remember all those cascades, and then no, that's not even, but the amount of animals and blood that you have. Excuse me, how many of you would like to come to Soje? Today, that's why you call those places shrine. You call them, no, I can't go, no. The reason some of you will not worship idol is because you just think about something that they have made with hand. How can I go and bow down to it? Do you understand what I'm saying? God changed the form of worship. Now, in John chapter 4, what Jesus was saying was that, you are still there. No. We will no longer have to worship in mountains. But those who will worship the Lord must worship him in spirit and in truth. By that statement, what Jesus simply did was, you can stand, you can be running and be worshiping God. You can be jumping and be worshiping God. You can close your eyes. You can bow down. You can lie flat. You can face up. You can do anything and be doing what? And still be worshiping God. In the Old Testament, was that possible? So God changed the form. So we need to change the form of what we have for us to be able to get to people to contact it if we must be able to get them to do it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's a microphone, sir.
Yeah. Like suddenly we have plastics. We have plastics, we have cans. So things are, they are looking for what to be convenient and affordable for customers. So you can go, you just buy a can of Coke or a can of this and you are drinking. It has its own side effects, but the point is that, you know, the plastics, the bottles are heavy and they are fragile, they can break and hurt somebody. But the plastics, you can take it and drop it in Nigeria. You don't drop it in trash can, you drop it on the road and you go.
Plastic.
Yeah.
So the new law coming in, a lot of countries, India and a lot of those countries, Malaysia, if you go there with this bottle, if you enter those countries with one of them, you are going to be arrested. I think sometimes my comment is that what we like, what seems so nice, may not be experienced. We are going back to bottles. You will see what's going to happen in 2022 because one of my major clients makes this one, and they are the biggest in plastics, what we call preforms. And the legislation has already hit those industries now, and Nigeria is saying we are going to stop using plastics in about 2 years from now. They've given notice. But about 5 years ago, they banned the use of bottles. They asked everybody to go to PETs.
Pets, yeah.
But because PETs takes 30 years to go back to nature, and there's no solution now for how to... This is single-use plastic. The plastic is even more expensive than what's inside it. We are now running away before all the animals on the sea, they are now dying from consuming plastics.
All right. So, all right, thank you. Okay, yes, the last comment, and then I will go on because there are a few other things I need to say before I leave.
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm sorry we came late. I've been observing, and as part of this change we are talking about, I don't know how many of us have notebooks that we are jotting on right now. All of us? Oh, that's good. The reason is because I've been in meetings like this, and people will go, and they think they have everything here. But a few days after, you forget everything. So the people who really, really benefit from things like this a great deal are the people who take notes. Because somebody said, the faintest pen is sharper than the sharpest brain. So I want to plead with us, for those of us who have not made it habit, please and please, it's part of correct discipleship, that you have a notebook and a pen. Just as a demonstration of this, I bought few of this, so I'll be giving one to each person, just to encourage this, okay?
God bless you, brother. God bless you. God
so
bless you.
the other comment I want to make is on the fact that what our facilitator has been telling us is what is called in some other parlance continuous improvement. Continuous improvement. And it's a very major thing in industry. So even for those of us who are employees, if all you do is that you do your work the way you have always done it day in, day out, you soon lose your job. Because you are not going to really add much value. A young man will come along the line, and what takes you 2 days to do, he will do it in 2 hours. And the employer will simply say, well, why am I paying you such a huge money? And sometimes people don't understand that an employer is not, there's no sentiment about it for an employer. It's the value you bring to the table. If somebody else is going to bring the same value for less amount of money, he will push you aside and bring that person in. So, whether you are working at home, whether you are working in the industry, wherever it is, continuous improvement. Things must keep getting better and better. When phones were brought to Nigeria, some of us will remember some of the first phones you used. Those Agege and the rest of it. Can you imagine? Now, how many people happen to be using those phones? Most of us will use smartphones today. So it's about continuous improvement. So
that mindset is something that we need to imbibe. And I will also encourage that let each of us take the strength that wherever you find yourself, whether in the home, in the church, anywhere, how can I do things better? How can I improve? And you realize that you keep remaining relevant and you'll be able to retain your customers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. The next thing I quickly talk about, I'm going to talk about 2 more things in 10 minutes and then I can go. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, what's the mindset of the customer? How do you think? This selling is all about the customer. Hello, is that okay? Selling is all about the customer. So if you can't get the customers to buy, then that's the end of your business. So what's the mindset of your customer? There are 5 things that you surely will occupy the mind of a customer. But you yourself, you can tell me, what occupies your mind when you want to buy a product? 1. Very quickly, 1. Yes? What? No, that's not what occupies your mind. Efficiency. Well, maybe put in a different way. What occupies your mind as a person who wants to buy something on this? Yes. Yeah, you want a kind of satisfaction, but what is at the back of that satisfaction? What's going to... Quality. That's it. Yeah, quality is one of the things that is at the back of the mind of the customer. So what it means is that if you are selling anything, you must sell quality. Is that okay? Hello, is that okay? I don't have time to dig into that. But what it simply means that if quality is at the back of your own mind, then for people to buy from you, you must give them quality. Do you understand that? Yeah, next. Another thing that occupies it. Price. Price is another thing that is at the back of the mind of the customer. So price. Yes, 3rd one.
Can he able to solve my problem?
Okay, satisfaction. Will he give me satisfaction? Yes. Yes. Will it be available? Yes. All right. Okay. There are other things. I quickly mentioned. We have mentioned price. We have mentioned quality. Somebody talked about efficiency, which is service. Is service. Will I get service? If I'm going to get service, I will want to buy again. If I'm not going to get service, I will not buy again. If you go into the mall, shopping mall, and you get there into one of the shops, and they don't give you service, what is going to happen next time you go to the shopping mall? You bypass the place. So for those of you who are selling, and one time you have a changing mood, and a customer comes and you abuse that customer, sorry for you. Sorry for you. That customer is not going to come back. We've seen that happen a lot of times. We are driving on Lagos-Ibadan Express or Ibadan-Lagos Expressway, where they sell one village that is like 26 kilometers from Ibadan, where you have a lot of people selling gari, all of those things. All of you will remember that place. And then we stopped, wanted to buy things. And then we got to this one of the kiosks. We got there, and then I bought a number of things. I didn't know I was not carrying enough cash. And so I checked my pocket when eventually I had to pay. I checked my pocket, and alas, the money that I had was not sufficient. I told the woman, I said, well, woman, what I bought from you is about 16,000 naira. I could only find 14,000 naira in my... He said, bring the money. When next we are passing, come and pay the 2,000 naira. I'm telling you real life story. Well, then what do you think happened? What do you think happened? That's it. That's it. So service is a very important thing for customers. It does not matter how little. It does not matter how little. But you must give service. But it also does not matter how little you have shown a reservation to the customer, it will not come back again. So if you misbehave to any customer, so each time you are misbehaving to the customer, you see, that's why, let me tell you, those of you who are selling food, the reason your restaurant don't sell for too many years is because of service. And if you check, you will see that the restaurant's lifespan, usually no more than 3 or 4 years. Hello? Because in those 3 early 4 years, everybody is up and doing. But after 3 or 4 years, they have built up a lot of customers. Then, by their own hand, they begin to do what? Chase them away. That's the service. All right. Then, you talk about delivery. Can I get it? Will you deliver when you promise? Those of you who are artisans, do you deliver when you promise? We have changed mechanics many times. Do you know the reason? When they ask you to come, they won't deliver. You have changed tailors many times. Because why? When you give them dress to sew for you, they don't deliver. You see, delivery is a very important thing in the mind of the customer. When you say to me, come and take it, and I come and I get it, fine. If I don't get it, I'm looking for somebody else. Do you understand me? So delivery is very, very important, and it must be speedy delivery, or delivery according to the timing of the customer, and then reliable. When I get it, is it exactly what I want? How many, remember now, how many people, how many artisans have you turned away because when they promise a particular delivery quality, they give you something different? Or you ask somebody to get you something, and you ask, give me this quality, and when they bring it, it's something that is different. So do you see what I'm? Or you buy from those people who sell in the market a combi that's supposed to be a measure, a whole measure, and when you check it at home, you discover that it's less than the measure that you paid for. You see, that's about it. If you don't deliver accordingly, those 5 things are always in the mind of the customer. Unless you keep doing it, you will lose them. All right, that's that. And then the next thing I quickly want to talk about is, how then do you sell? When you want to sell, if you want to increase your business and you want to sell, 5 things you also have to think about. The first thing is, you must prepare yourself, prepare your company, and prepare your product. All of them together. Prepare yourself, prepare your company, and prepare your product. They are not accidental. It must be deliberate. You are doing it, you must do it deliberately. You know, I run a company called Polyester Consulting. And a number of organizations that I've not been to, but we just sent, I was somewhere like 3 weeks ago, and that company, we've always sent our documents to them. And then when I got there and I showed up and I pulled out my card and I gave it to the head of HR, the lady said, I have been seeing your documents. Now, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? What do you think that means to you? It means that those documents have been packaged in a way that you cannot forget them. And truly, if you see some of our documents, you will know that you cannot forget them in a hurry. So you must be deliberate about how you package yourself, your product, and your company. That's the point I'm raising here. Yeah, depending on what you are doing, then that way. The second thing is your prospect. How many people do you want to sell to? Are you only thinking about one person? Are you thinking about 100 people? Who are they? Have you defined them? Do you know them when you see them? Now, do you hawk your good to everyone that is passing by the road? Or do you know the kind of people that will buy your product? I don't know if you understood what I'm saying. Now, you save your breath if you talk to people who will buy from you. You know, I told you the definition of a customer before. Someone who has a need, someone who has money to buy, someone who is willing to buy, and someone that you can reach or who can reach you. That's the definition of a customer. So unless you are talking to the people who would buy from you, you are only wasting your time. Because there are some people who will not buy from you. It does not matter what you are saying. Passing on the road, I just bought a bottle of water. And another person is selling water. And he's still saying, buy this water. Excuse me. The one I'm holding, he's not the fellow to talk to. Look for somebody else who has not bought at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't talk to everybody. Talk to people whom you already know will buy from you. And how you get to know that. But I don't have the time to talk about that today. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, where is your own market? What are you selling? Are you selling Coca-Cola? Or you are selling Taste the Feelings? Which one are you selling? Hello? What are you selling? This bottle of Coca-Cola or Taste the Feelings? All right. I'm selling Taste the Feelings. I'm not selling this bottle. This bottle, there are so many bottles that could be like this that people will not be interested in. But there is something much more intrinsic about Coca-Cola that they have been able to bring out is Taste the Feelings. And as a matter of fact, do you know what? One reason I cannot get over Coca-Cola is they ask me to taste the feelings. Particularly when I go out under the sun and the sun is beating my head and I see a bottle of Coca-Cola, it's difficult for me to resist. All right. So it's the feeling. So I'd like you to know that there is something in your product that equals that. That is what you need to learn to sell. And that is your market. So every time you come up with that, people will come and buy from you. But if you are selling that bottle, people will soon look for a bottle that looks like that, and then they will stop coming from you. Is that okay? Because that fellow will be selling at a cheaper price. And then what do you say to people when you want them to buy from you? What do you say to them? You must also learn what to say to persuade customers. Selling is all about persuading people to buy. It's not about getting annoyed about them, because some customers can be irate customers. But despite their misbehavior, what do you have to do? You still have to speak nice word. And that's what the scripture tells us, isn't that? Let your words be what? Seasoned. It's not, you think all those words are in scriptures because they think that when you come to church, you should not abuse people. They are required in the marketplace. They are required where people will actually abuse you. But your words must always be seasoned with salt. So that's basically what I'm talking about here. All right. Now, so you must make sure you keep helping the customers to solve their problems. They can come with 1,001 problems. You still have to help them to solve it. If you keep helping them, they will keep coming to you to buy. If you don't, the day you cease to help them, they will cease coming. So that's basically what we are saying. I will feel comfortable if every time I get to Broti and I say I need something, or it's always going to say, okay, let's see how that's going to work. Even if he does not have it, he's saying, let's see how it's going to work. But if every time I get to him, he said, no. No. Some of you are fond of saying no. No is a bad word. You learn not to say no. It's not no. The word there is not no. Even when you cannot do anything, the thing is to engage yourself with that fellow to see how you can get the solution that the fellow needs. Hello, do you understand me? All right, good. So the word no will send people away from you. It will send away the good people away from you. Now, how do you generate more customers? Number one, you have to learn to sell more. Sell more. Sell more of what you are selling. If you want to be rich, you have to learn to sell more of what you are selling. Some of you don't even measure what you are selling. If all this while, if in the last 10 days, you have sold 10 of your articles, something should tell you that going to the next 10 days, you must strive to sell more than 10. I don't know if you understood what I'm saying. So it's a simple principle that must be inspired inside of you, ignited by power inside of you to say, I'm going to try to sell more. So for instance, if you are a consultant and you already have 5 companies as your client, the next thing to do is to say, I want to have 6 companies as my client. I want to have 7 companies as my. But do you know some of you are in your businesses, what you do? You say, it does not matter, let him go if he wants to go. Yes, that's what many of you is. I had a lot of people. Mechanics, tailors, leave him there, his wala is too much. Caterers, all of them. No, they say it. Have you not heard them? Have you not said it before? Be careful. What you are simply doing is you are sending away your customers. Rather than to sell more, you will be selling less. Now, if what you sold last year is still what you are selling this year, you are selling less. If you sold 10 last year and you are still selling 10 this year, you are selling less already. Do you understand what I'm saying? But what you need to do to plan is to sell more all the time. All right, good. Then the next thing is sell to more people. The first one is sell more of your product. The second one is sell to more people. Sell to more people. Just learn to sell to more people. Don't reduce the number of people you are selling to. Sell to more people. Increase the number. Let the number keep on going up. Is that okay? Sell to more people. The third one is about sell for more. You sell for more. Now you have been selling for 10 naira before. Now if you are able to deliver the 4 utilities that I spoke about, you can add a little cent, a little pence, or what was it, kobo. You can sorry, you can add a little kobo to that 10 naira and say, okay, I'm going to sell at 10 naira 50 kobo. There's nothing is going to change. Do you notice that those of you who use ATM to buy fuel now, they are charging you how much? In Lagos, 50 naira. And that does not stop you from using the ATM. So you sell for what? For more. You learn to sell for more. There is a way to do it. Once you understand it, what you need to do is to give an increased service for what you are getting. And you just get it, and then you will sell for more. So sell for more. And then finally, you sell with more. Sell with more people. If you have only 1 outlet, increase it to 2 outlets. If you have only one salesperson, increase them to 2. If you are in the market space, you are a seller, you are in the market space where everybody sells, try get one person along with you, and the 2 of you begin to sell in the course of the day. You will see that you will sell more. Why? One of you, if both of you are active, one of you will see somebody and go to them and say, please come and sell our shop. And some fellow will come to your shop and then we pick on something. Initially, it may be very slow, but over a period of time, they will sell more. If you go to the mall, in some of the shops, you will get there and you find an assistant who is selling a particular product. Every time you enter, you say, please come and see. How many of us have experienced that before? Yeah, that's it. What they are trying to do is they want to sell with more people so that that product can be sold. So you need to learn to sell with more. So if you increase, there are 2 salespeople selling for you, try increase it to 3. Try increase it to 4. Because the reach of 2 people is definitely less than the reach of 3 people. Hello, do you understand me? That's basically. So 4 things I've said there. If you want to sell more to customers, you sell more, sell to more, sell for more, and sell with more. And then what do you sell? Number 1, sell value, sell benefit, sell value, sell utility, sell satisfaction, sell the feelings. That's what you sell, not the product. Sell the feelings. Is that okay? Sell value. That's number 1. Number 2, try and sell variety. Variety is the spice of life. People want variety. They don't want you to be selling the same thing. Even if you are selling the same product, bring it in different forms. Coca-Cola has this bottle, has another level, has another one, has another level, has another level. That's it. Try and sell variety. When you are selling variety, people will come to you to buy because they know they will get all different kinds of things that they need. Sell variety. And then, 3rd one, sell volume. Try to increase the volume of what you are selling. And then you will see. And then, sell much more quickly. Sell with speed. And that's where I'm going to stop. What did I expect you to learn today? I expect you to learn that marketing starts at the point of idea generation. That's one of the points I've made. The second thing I said is that solving customer problems will bring you more customers. It won't send away customers from you. It will bring more customers to you. Then the 3rd thing I said is you have to sell 4 types of utilities. Every time you want to sell, it must be 4 things you are selling. If you don't have that packaged already, you have to find a way of packaging them into your product. And those are the form, the ownership, the time, and the place. You just must incorporate that too. It has so many other elements, which I've not talked about today, but that's basically what that thing is saying. Then, number 4, sell with more people. The more people you have selling for you, the better it is for you. It does not matter what you are selling. If I can enlist one of you to sell for me, to sell my company everywhere you get to, in your normal course of duty, I will have more customers. Even if you had 1 customer to the list of customers I have, I already have more. Do you understand me? So, and a lot of times you are looking for people you want to pay. There are a lot of people who are called freelance people who would readily want to take your product along with what they are doing. They will help you to sell what you are doing. So learn to use people around you. Some of you are looking for people all over. No, use people around you to sell your product. They will help you gladly, willingly, without any commitment. They will help you. They will sell. But you have to allow them, you have to make them to know that you want them to sell for you. And as they sell, you reward them. It's not that you are going to be pocketing all the profit. Reward. All right? Do you understand what I'm saying here? And then finally, I said that your customer are people who have mindsets. And those mindsets influence what they buy, from whom they buy, at what time they buy, and the kind of quality they are looking for. Now let me end by saying this. How much do you think that this bottle of Coke costs? How much? 50 naira, yes. 90 naira, yes. 30 naira, yes. How much? Okay. Now, let me tell you. When you are able to deliver the utility the customer wants, they are willing to pay any price. This bottle of Coke costs 330 naira. All right. So, that's it. Because they know the people they are selling it to. There are people who are conscious of their health. That's the people they are selling it to. They know. They don't deceive themselves. It's you that try to deceive yourself. They don't deceive themselves. They understand exactly what they're trying to do. They know that for people who have health issues, if you say, okay, you love Coke, you still want to drink this small bottle, they will buy it. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and beloved brethren, thank you so much. I wish I have more time, but I think I have to go. Thank you very, very much. Finally, let me take quick one question and one comment, and then I can go. One question, one comment. All right, sir.
I've enjoyed every bit of it. I wish I came earlier. I just want you to make comments because you've spoken so well about products, and there's no doubt about it that products and services. How do we tie this also to some of our friends there who are searching for jobs or who are employed? Because I imagine that the same principle seems to apply. Can you help us to tie it a little bit? Thank you.
Oh, okay. 5 winning ways. When I was talking, I spoke about 5 winning ways. The first thing I said is prepare yourself, your company, and your products. Hello? Did you hear that? That's what, if you are searching for a job, that's all you need to do. Prepare yourself, prepare your products. Then what's your product as a person? What's your product as a person? The ideas you have, the knowledge you have, the qualifications you have, that's your product. That's what you need to sell. And you must be able to sell it and deliver those 4 forms if you want me to buy from you. That's basically what happens. It's the same principle. You only need to apply it. As a matter of fact, the principles are general principles. You apply it depending on the kind of business that you are doing. How do you prepare yourself? I recruit for organizations, and I've seen a lot of people come for interview. They just appear just anyhow. And then they fail the interview ab initio because they fail to prepare themselves. Then I've seen a lot of people who wear very nice suits with nice tie, well-dressed people, but they did not prepare the ideas that they have. So they speak, and then you hear them and then say, no, this one does not have the stuff that we want. So that means you are not preparing yourself. So if there is anything you have as a person who is looking for a job, you must think about the employer, not about yourself. Now, you can say all manners of things. I don't have a suit. I don't have money. That's your problem. It's not the problem of the employer. The employer is looking for someone who can fit in into what he wants. Now, you can claim ignorance for a number of things. That's your problem. It's not the problem of the employer. The employer is looking, as a matter of fact, the principle is this. I have described the kind of job that I have. And I'm looking for someone who fits that particular job. Do you understand me? So unless you fit the job that I have, you cannot be employed. So you need to, so the principle, the 5 winning ways, they remain indelible principle. The principle is unchanging. You must learn to prepare yourself. And look, a number of times, in the global village, what they say is money back. How many of us have heard of money back before? They are so sure of what they are selling and say, if I give you this product and you try it, and I will pay you the money that you have paid. That's it. That's what you need to do. And I was somewhere, and I said to them, all you need to do is to just give us a chance. And then you will know that we will deliver with a difference. And do you know what? By the time I had finished one of the presentations I made there, they asked me to come and make another one. Now, that is exactly what you need to do. You need to prepare yourself. If you are not preparing yourself, look, it's not a matter of somebody, one woman in the village, or anybody. It's about you first and foremost. It's just a simple thing you need to learn to do. You see, my parents taught me when I was growing up, be decent. That's all you need to do. In school, I had a jeans and I had 3 shirts. But people who were very rich didn't know that I didn't have more than that. Because of the principle of being decent. Just be decent. It does not matter what you have. If you have to wash it overnight, which I did a lot of times, wash overnight, iron very early in the morning, and get back into that, and then you are looking decent. Do you understand what I'm saying here? So it's not about what you have. It's about what you are becoming. Hello, is someone hearing me? It's about what you are becoming. And you can only become that if you can transform from those limitations that you think you have. Unless you can do that, then it's not going to happen. Yeah? All right. Yes.
the ideas of this marketing is all about customer.
It's all about customers, yes.
Customer. I just want to add that for those who are in business already, you must be ready to know that you have 3 customers. Those that are your past customers, those that you are serving now, and those that are going to be your future customers. But my question is this. You've talked about marketing and everything. But for those of us who are not even business people, but we are here, can you just tell us 2 ways by which we can make a business decision?
I'm sure the next speaker will speak about that. He will talk to you about how to generate ideas, but you are in business. It does not matter what you are doing, you are in business. If you are an employee, employed in a company, you are in business. Let me tell you why. If you keep selling ideas in your company's place, you keep getting promotion. If you are someone who doesn't sell any idea in the company's place, you will follow the norm. Hello? It's about selling idea everywhere you are. Just have to sell ideas. If you are unable to sell your ideas, you won't make progress. Okay. So everybody is in business. Do you understand me? Whatever it is you are doing now, you are in business. Because you need a profit. And then you are doing it. So, and the whole thing about business is about idea generation and delivery. You must generate the idea, but you must deliver it to somebody who needs it. Yeah.
I just want to thank you for your time and for sharing this knowledge, because normally we always pay a lot of money. Companies pay a lot of money to get this kind of training. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't appreciate free service. So I thank you very much. 80% of what we do in companies is in marketing. This is my own weak area as a person. My knowledge about marketing and sales is 0. I don't have...
Then let's partner.
So, I think I'm very grateful. I'm not going to be a marketer today, but thank you very much for your time, and also for impacting your knowledge, for not wanting to go out of this world with all that knowledge. As I looked at you, I see that you have a lot of knowledge, and for wanting to share it free of charge. I think we need to give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you please appreciate our daddy? It's a very full package section. Probably if you are paying for this, you pay minimum of 250,000 SOA, and 250 or 150,000 for individual listener. And it's a nice time. Please, can you please appreciate him as he's going? He has an engagement elsewhere. That's why he needs to go. We'll move straight away to our daddy, Deacon Hesty. Pastor Hesty Kuti, Judge. Please, can you appreciate him? He's a pastor. Yeah, he's a pastor. Please appreciate him.
Leave title. I'm Brother Hesty Kuti, Judge. Don't worry yourself. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you are enjoying what is happening here, say hi. If you are not enjoying it, say nay. The eyes have it anyway. That's the eyes have it. Yeah, it gives me a great pleasure to be here, and I'm also happy. We had to swap, places with him because he had something somewhere else to quickly rush to, and I'm glad he has taken the marketing aspect of business, and I will not have to dwell on it when I get there. We'll just brush over it. Starting, how many hours do I have? 4, 5? What kind of time do we have? So that, because one needs to plan with it. 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Okay, all right. It's just to be able to plan. What we're looking at this time around is starting a viable business, an introduction. The topic was deliberately crafted to include viable, all right? Not just starting a business, but a viable one, a business that will last. Okay? And this is just an introduction because doing that entails quite a lot. Let's look at the learning outcomes. What are we expecting to get from this exercise at the end of the day? It is expected that participants should be able to identify methods of generating business ideas. This part of our discussions today is actually about starting a business. Okay? And I agree with my brother that marketing actually begins also with before you start, your business, and we'll get there. So the first thing we do is to identify methods of generating ideas. Discuss various ways of evaluating business ideas. How do I evaluate these ideas after they have come to me to ensure whether they are going to be viable or not? The third one is to explain the importance of planning in business, startup. I happen to be someone who didn't like the word planning or to plan. I didn't like it, ab initio, before I got into business. I just feel that, look, you are a child of God and, God is in control of everything. Why should I spend my time, first of all, thinking about what to do, how do I want to do it? Let's get into it and let's get going. After all, the Bible says you can cast a dice. The Lord decides which side we face off. But the same scripture, that's Proverbs 16:1, says, the preparation of the heart belongs to man, but the answer of the tongue is of the Lord, which means there is a place of the preparation of the heart. So, but getting into the business world, of course, I had no alternative than to love planning. Then the last one, which we expect to achieve, is to implement a business startup. We are not here to discuss, theories essentially, but things that we can place our fingers on, things that we will hear and will spur us to start to do something, Because we are, in the midst of, because we are children of God, we are Christians, whatever we discuss, we want to find its root in the Word of God. And one relevant scripture that has to do with business here is, actually happened right at the beginning of creation, when in Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, the Bible says, then God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over it. And one way by which we can fulfill this is to continually think and come up with ideas that will not only add value to life, but will also generate profit for us, so that, we can be seen to be fruitful, to be multiplying, to be filling the earth, to be subduing the earth, and exercising, dominion. I sometimes jokingly say that it looks as if, as God was announcing those things, the Africans heard, be fruitful, multiply, and fill. And before God got to the issue of subdue and have dominion, we had taken off. We thought God had said everything that he wanted to say. Because we are actually fruitful, we multiply in terms of, you know what I mean. Nigeria, we don't even know how many we have. We just guess that we are about 200 million people. The truth of the matter is by the year 2030, by the year 2040, thereabout, we should be 500 million people in Nigeria at the rate which we are going. Okay? So, but, the scripture, the mind of God is that we actually subdue and exercise dominion. This thing is far off. I thought it would be close to us. The next slide, please. Whoever is controlling that. But I thought I was the one controlling it. And then I realized I am not. The first thing we want to look at is idea generation. That precedes business. You must, generate an idea. And every business begins with an idea. And generating business ideas or entrepreneurship, that generating business idea is what we call entrepreneurship. It involves scanning, what I refer to as scanning. We all have heard that word before. My wife is having a continuous pain on her right wrist now, and we've seen the doctors, they've given her treatment, and this morning she was saying, I'm still feeling this pain. I think it ought to have gone. The next thing is that maybe I'll have to go and do an x-ray. Say, I want to see what is inside. So scanning is, that's scanning. It's very critical to generating business idea. Actually, idea generation is about looking at what everyone is looking at, but seeing what everybody is not seeing. You're looking at what everyone is looking at, but you are able to see what everyone is not seeing. Now, this thing is, no, we are not leaving that place here too. Where is that animal? That picture on that page. Good. Can you bring that picture forward? Good. Thank you very much. Whoever is doing that is brilliant. How many animals can you see here? Just raise up your hand and then you identify for us. Okay, you. 5. Name them. An elephant, a horse, a dog, a cat, and a rat. There is no pointer here. I will have pointed out. He saw 5. My brother, did you see more than 5? No. Okay, my sister, somebody is seeing what some people are not seeing. Okay. Yeah, you saw what? You saw a fish. Oh, where is a fish there? That thing that looked like the tops, the trunk. Okay, it's a fish. Yeah, somebody is seeing what some people did not see. Okay, what else? You saw what? A tortoise. Where is that? The hair. Good. Somebody is seeing what people did not see. You can see, a tortoise there. That's it. Even the tail showed. Okay? Can somebody else see something? There is a snake. Where is that? The tail is a snake. Somebody is seeing what somebody else now. Let's put our hands together, for ourselves. That is how business ideas are generated. Everybody is looking at, something. But you are able to see what they are not seeing. That's the beginning of generating business idea. And there are 3 broad areas that we can scan. The first begins with you, yourself. And that is the inward or self-scan. What I tagged as inward or self-scan. The first picture we have there says, to find yourself, think for yourself. You have to find yourself by thinking for yourself. Think about yourself, your life. The second one says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. All right? You must know yourself. We're going to see some things about this later. I don't want us to spiritualize it, the issue of self, do away with self, and all these things that we're talking about. What the scripture talks about self is not what we're talking about here. It's talking about what God created you to be. Do you understand me? Because I know we are Christians here, and there are certain things we just say, oh, no, we shouldn't think about self. And then but the fact remains that you cannot be who you are not. You cannot be who you are not made to be. Okay, so the first thing to do there is examine yourself. What gifts or talent or inheritance do you have? What gifts, what talent, whether you call it gift or you call it talent or you call it an inheritance. For me, I've always, I love adventure. I love to create things right from my childhood. I mean, we played with clay, we did all manner of things. Whenever they asked us to bring crafts in school, I would do well in it, you know. How many of us did radio with a bee inside it? I mean, not a bee now. What do you call that? A bug. Inside it, you wrap it and you create an antenna, and when you tap it, that thing inside, suffering, will be making one, and then you say you are making a radio, you know. I don't know if they do those such things again in school these days. Okay, they play with the phones now, you know. So, you know, I've loved that. Okay, then I also have this ability, you know, to be able to teach and to speak. All right, and I inherited, you know, two things. My father was a teacher, indeed, a school principal. He was at Ibadan Grammar School, you know, up to 1959, and then moved to Orion Grammar School, Oyo, you know, as the first principal and co-founder in 1960. Okay, and my mother, you know, was a trader. So I'm a hybrid of the two. I'm able to teach, and you know, I have the business thing within me. What am I doing? I'm doing a self-scan. Everybody should be able to do that. Then the next question is, where or what is your passion? There must be something that you like doing effortlessly. If you are woken up in the morning, say, what would you like to be? That's possibly, perhaps, the first thing that will come to your head. All right? Where lies your passion? Something that you love to do. Some people love to speak. Some people love to sew. Some people love to make. Some people, you know, love to make others happy. All right? And that's another thing that I have in a very small way. I like people around me at all times to be happy. So I will be I'm always thinking of what to say, what joke to crack that will make people around me just to laugh wherever we are. All right? And some people have been troubling me on that this man, you have to be doing master of ceremony. And I said, how many things will I do? And then I can't do MC and whatever. And up till today, they were still on my neck. And so a few months ago, I decided, okay, I'm going to be doing MC also. And one of them, you know, quickly gave me an opportunity. They held a dinner for the governor of Osun State, and I was the MC at the program, you know. So another thing. Then the third point here is ask God. Ask God. All right? As you are doing your self-scanning, if you can't find anything, ask the one who created you. Lord, why am I here? What gift have you given to me that you want me to put to the fore? I said the story of Ollie's bread. We'll get to it when we are doing our case study. Okay. The second one is environmental scan. You can see the picture of the mother and the daughter carried a binocular, you know, a telescope or whatever it is, and was doing what? Was scanning, trying to see what the environment has. To generate ideas, you must be able to do that. Look at the environment, the economic environment, the political environment, the social environment. What opportunities are there? Then identify the gaps that exist. You see, why some people are busying themselves at this time? That worry locked the borders. Some people are still smuggling. Why? I was in a training last Friday. Yes, doing a training last Friday, and then I asked them, you know, what their opinion was about the border, you know, and the reason a lady, you know, raised up her hand and gave gleefully is that it is a bad thing. Why did Buhari have to do it when Christmas was coming? You know, that why didn't he lock it when Muslims were doing their own things? And I said, look, well, that's what she's seeing. Scan your environment. Look for opportunities in such places. And a friend of mine, you know what he did? He went straight to the bank and borrowed 50 million naira and went to the north and bought all their rice from Kaduna, and he's selling down here. And he's making money. Yeah. His rice is available in Nasi office there. It is the rice that I'm eating in my house now. Nigerian rice, fantastic. I will never eat any other rice again for as long as they are producing. I'm telling you. Although I'm not even a rice person in the first place. You cannot wake me up and say, what do you want to eat? And I will say rice. Never. It cannot happen. You know, because I can eat amala in the morning, eat fufu in the afternoon, eat eba at night. It's okay for me. I don't have any problem with it. But for the rice people, I tell you, there is nothing wrong with Nigerian rice. The only thing is, we used to complain that it's stone and whatever, and it is just a matter of technology. They are destoning. Even our own auntie Agege is destoning in that place. It's just a matter of machine. If you see patiji rice, very white and whatever, and somebody will be dying for what? So scan the environment. What opportunity is in what is happening so that I can take it? And then you move to fill in such gaps. And I gave some examples there. Look at infrastructural gaps. The issue of power. Rather than continue to complain, power, why don't you try to see, people need power anyway. How can I fill in that? And I was glad when I saw one of our brothers at the small exhibition we did there. He said he's doing solar, he's doing this, he's doing that. While others are complaining there is no power, somebody is thinking, what can I, get out of that? Also in the, social gaps, the issue of food, the issue of health. People are doing all manners of things, and somebody managed to sell water, one kind of water to me at 1,000 naira a bottle. All right? Yeah, he hinged it on health. He sold health to me. He said the water is deionized, ozonized, and what and that the thing will wash away every acid content of my body. And I bought it 1,000 naira a bottle, of 1 liter. That's about how much? That's about 100 naira per 100 mil. Talking about social gaps. This is a time when people are talking about green. This is a time when Nigerian things should be, selling. Not be so. Instead of all those that are imagining. Cosmetics, general fashion. General fashion. Look at it. Then service gaps like consultancy and social media. One thing is, look, I read a book. What's it called? The Israeli Phenomenon. How many of us have read that book? It talks about 7 factors that made the Israelis the richest people, on earth. And they really are. They are dominating. They are very few, very small percentage of American population, but they are controlling the American economy, as big as they are. And the first thing he spoke about is portable asset, which is what? Knowledge. So there is always, gap in that area. Okay? Are we making sense? Are we saying what we can identify with, or we're just talking above our heads? Okay. The third one is to scan the market. And I'm glad that we have mentioned something about marketing today. He said, scan the market. Carry your binocular. Look at the market. Of course, the market is the whole of the place. Identify unsatisfied demands and find ways and means to satisfy or to meet those demands. And I tell you, this is the easiest way to make money. When people want to start business, what is common is that people just talk about, oh, this is what I love to do. And then you begin to do it. But I tell you, if what you love to do is not wanted in the market, then you will be satisfying yourself. You will not be making money. You will be having self-satisfaction, but you will not be making money. All right? But the best way to generate idea is to look at what the market wants, and then you go and produce it. You make quick money because the market is looking for it. You are just going to satisfy the market need. That is the easiest way to make money on earth. So market scanning is the third one that I identified, and I said it is the easiest way to make money. After you have been able to generate an idea, okay, maybe I should give my example before I leave this place. Everybody sees rock. As you are moving around, you are traveling from Lagos to anywhere, that you are going. Everybody sees rock everywhere. People see, oh, rock. That's what they use for building. That's what they use for whatever. But Some people were seeing, and I'm one of them, were seeing bathtubs in those rocks, shower trays in those rocks, bowls that you can wash your hands in, kitchen tubs that is done seamlessly with the sink, the bowl, in any color, any shape, any style, from the same rock that people are looking, other people are looking at. Just the way we tested ourselves today. So, in the environment, gaps exist. Gaps exist. And if we scan properly, we'll be able to come up with something. The next thing after you have generated the idea is to ponder it, to think about it. That is what I refer to as incubating or planning, your idea. All right? A chicken, after laying the egg, the number of eggs that wants to lay, and desire that something will come out of it, or should come out of it, the next thing that chicken does is to do what? To incubate the eggs. We'll go and be sitting on it. And that requires time, doesn't it? It requires time. So there is the place of, pondering. After generating, incubate your idea, that is, ponder it. Think about it. What can I actually make out of it? Will it be viable? Will it sell? Can I sustain it? And so on and so forth. Then after that, the next thing you do is to draw a plan of execution. How do I want to go about it? How do I want to do it? And we're saying in the third point there that your planning must be imaginative. You must be able to imagine it. It must be challenging. It must not be, and that's something we do not like. Many people don't like challenges. But I tell you, it is in challenges that there is money. My grandmother will always say, "Enu kiniun lowowa." That is, money is in the mouth of the lion. So how do you get it? How do you get it? That's the challenge. So it must be challenging, but it must be achievable. You can get money from the mouth of the lion if you know how to go about it. Okay? If a lion is carrying your money, the money you want, for example, you don't even have to show face. Get an arrow, put a poison on the arrow that will make the lion to sleep. Fire the arrow, any part of the body of the lion that it hits, the lion goes to bed, sleeps off, and then you retrieve the money, retrieve your arrow and go away. When that thing runs down in the lion's blood, he will get up again and continue his life. Do you understand? So what my grandmother was saying actually made sense. So we now look at, we have said we need to plan. How do we plan? What do we plan about? I identified 3 major areas. We don't want to bother ourselves with so much academics here. 3 major areas: production, marketing, and financial. All right? Where am I? Okay. This man, everybody knows him. All right? In fact, all of us here, we are contributing money to that guy's wealth. He makes about $6,000 per second, and I and you are contributing to his purse every day. That even in church, we have to be telling people to switch off their phone, begging them to switch off their phone. For every image you open, everything you do, that man, where is he? Next slide, please. That young man. As a matter of fact, there is an ongoing battle between this single boy and America now. A whole of America. They are saying whether they should hand over the issue of, secrecy of American information to Mark Zuckerberg. And the Democrats are saying, no, we cannot, hand that over to a single person, So what did he say? He said, ideas don't come out fully formed. No, you cannot get an idea that is fully formed. When some people were seeing bathtubs inside a rock, is it fully formed? Was the bathtub there? They still have to do something about it. They only become clear as you walk on them. So you need to walk. You need to incubate it. Just have to get started. All right? I will tell you later on, if there is time, how we are managing to get bathtubs and so on out of a rock. So I identified 3 things: production plan, marketing plan, and then the funding or financial plan. Production plan provides answers to the following questions. What do I want to produce, or which service do I want to render? Because it is not only about production, it's also about service. Okay? You have to think, what do I want to? How do I want to produce it or render it? How do I want to do it? How do I get a bathtub out of a rock? That rock must first of all become dust. Okay? So how do I get rock to become dust? Okay? Where will I produce it? That is the place. Where can I do it? Is the raw material available in required quantity? What I need to produce this thing, is it available in the quantity that I will continuously get it? In my case, yes, there will be rock. There is rock from Lagos to Sokoto. You will always get it. And when we were children, when we were children in the primary school, you know, we didn't have all these things that you have, jumping, whatever. It's on the rock that we will go. We put plate, and then you glide down the something. That was our own sport. And many people lost their frontal teeth, you know, in the process of doing that. So is the raw material available in required quantity? How many do I want to produce, or can I produce? That is, how many of such does the market need? Okay? How do I take it to the market? How will I get it to the market? And we learned, you know, something about the time, you know, utility today, that people want something quickly and where they can get it. How do I take it to where they want to get it? That is what makes, you know, all those boys selling in traffic, we look at them and you don't learn that kind of thing in Harvard. You understand? What they are simply doing, they did not go to Harvard, they did not go to Lagos Business School. But what they are simply doing is to take their wares to where you need it and you can get it on time. And that's why when they chase them from here, they reappear there and you keep on patronizing them. I bought these slippers, you know, in traffic, in GRA there, towards whatever. And it also gives you the power of bargaining if you are very smart. Because they first of all tell you it's 10,000 naira. And then and then you say 2,000. And then the guy will say, no, it's not, whatever. It's not possible. And then as you are going, you will run. You say, add 200 naira now, add 500 naira. Say, that's all I have. Say, okay, bring them. You know? So where is the market? How do I take it there? What strength do I have in this thing? Well, I've been looking at myself, this thing that I want to do. What strength do I have to produce and to take it to the market? What are my weaknesses? You have to do that self-scan over and over again. You have to know what your weaknesses are. I'm glad, you know, when Brotayo said, oh, marketing, I've never been thinking about it, I'm not good at it and whatever. That's a weakness. It does not mean that he's weak all around, but that's a weakness he had identified. And what will he do? He will look for a way of doing what? Even if he has to, you know, give it out to somebody to be doing, you know, for him. Then what opportunities are available? You know, when you look around you, you will see that there are opportunities. And then what are the threats that I have? What are the threats that I have? A threat can be political threat, can be economic threat, can be social, can be technological. I'll give an example quickly of course, social threat will be like, I don't think, okay, let me say, if you want to run a piggery, okay, is Zamfara a good place to go and do that? Huh? Why not? But it's a state in Nigeria, and you want to sell pigs. Why not? The culture of the people, the religion of the people. In fact, if they see you with one pig, they will chase you out of the land. If they okay? Political can be, you know, like the decision that was taken now, close the border. One has to think about, you know, such things. It has to be in your plan. Suppose government comes up tomorrow and says, this thing cannot happen again. What will I do? Do you understand me? You have to think about that. Of course, you may look at yourself and you don't find what you are trying to do and you don't find any of this, but you can find one or two. What are the technological threats? What can come up tomorrow? We have this whatever fiber that is laid in our estate, and we are enjoying 24 hours internet in the estate where I live there. And then suddenly NEPA came up because they ran their cables on NEPA poles, and NEPA came up and said they should go and remove their whatever that they don't. Whereas somebody in IKEDC gave them the go ahead to do it in the first place, and then they invested money and did all that. And we said, Eureka, we have arrived. We're enjoying 24 hours internet. And then they said they should go and remove. Another person came and said they should go and remove their cables. And it has become a problem. We've had disruption now for about a week. They are running around to. These are some things that this fellow probably did not see ahead. And that's why, such, your plan must look at as many things, as possible. We are not perfect, but at least make effort to think about these things. The second one is your marketing plan. Is there a market for my product or service? If you are doing something that does not have, that there is no market for, you are just entertaining yourself, or you are just doing whatever. If it is that you want to make money, you have to look for, be sure that there is market for it. Then where is the market? And when we say where, it's not only talking about the location, it's also talking about demography. That is the age bracket. Okay? The age bracket. Of course, if you are specializing in making this kind of wares, you are not thinking of people that are under 25 or under 20. You are not thinking of them, because this is not the kind of thing that they wear. Okay? But if you are thinking of them, then you'll be thinking of a jeans that is cut either on the knee or on the back, or made some, and that's one challenge my wife has. She has her own way of making her own dresses and whatever. And I said, well, you're making dresses, but you're not making money. If you want to make money, you have to do what the market wants. But she will say, no, me, I cannot do that. For example, the issue of wedding gowns, okay? Wedding gowns. What you have mostly is people want to show, they're supposed to keep. They want to show it, out. And that is about 90% of the market, or 80% of the market. If I'm right, just my own thinking. It's about 70, 80% of the market. People that want to go to the altar, they want to wear that. But if you want to wear like Meghan of the princess, whatever, round neck, responsible thing, only 20% want that. What do we do? Or 10%, what do we do? So what is the size of the market? You also have to think of that. Who are my competitors? Yes, you have to think of that also. Who are the people that are already doing it? All right? I often ask one question. Who is the most important person to Coca-Cola? Who is the most important person to Coca-Cola? Somebody said the customer, somebody said Pepsi, somebody said, okay, Coca-Cola customers are the most important persons to Coca-Cola. Nigerian bottling company, that's Coca, they are the makers of Coca-Cola anyway. Okay, but let me tell you, the most important person to Coca-Cola company is the person that is drinking Pepsi. Because the ones drinking Coca-Cola are already in the net, and we are satisfying you. We are taking steps to satisfy you. But we want to win that person that is drinking Pepsi also. That is drinking Biggie also. Okay, now Biggie has surfaced. The person that is drinking Biggie is very important to Coca-Cola. Why? Because he wants to win him over. You have to think of your competitor, your competition. Very, very critical. Who are the people that are already buying, similar products that you want to come up with? And how do you win them over, to your side? What is the current pricing in the market? Of course, you cannot outprice yourself. We have had that here. Then, what is the best way to package, my product? And my brother has already used that. I brought this one up for the for the purpose of packaging. You know, that, look, packaging is very, very important. The reason why we will not buy Nigerian things before is because of their packaging. But I tell you, we're doing fantastic packaging in Nigeria now. There is this hair cream that I use now. A lady down the road there around Omale is making it. You need to see the packaging. Unless you pick it up and you read made in Nigeria, the first thing that will come into your mind is this is imported. All right? And what she put inside it is what they have been putting in other packages before, and we're not buying. So packaging is very, very critical. Then how do I promote my product or service? And don't let us waste our time with the grammar there. Now, the third one is the financial or funding plan. You know, this is one thing that discourages many people from trying to go into business. The first question people ask is, where will I get the money? No, that is not the first thing. The first thing is, what do I want to do? And does the market want it? If you can get those two things, funding will become, you know, an easy thing for you. And I'll give the example of myself after saying this. What do I need money for? Those are the questions. Thinking forward on issues pertaining to money. What do I need money for? Because it's not everything that needs money. Some of these things don't require your talent. For example, to be an MC, what do I have to spend? I've been dressing before. I just need to dress well and be ready to talk. All right? Generate jokes. That doesn't require money. Okay? Then the next question is, how much do I need? How much? Where or how can I raise the money? All right? Is it from my savings? Do I want to take a loan? Or do I want to get other people, you know, to come around me? All right? Many of us would like to own our businesses for ourselves, by ourselves, and with ourselves. No, it is not always the right thing. You know, we want to be chairman, managing director. We want to be everything. You are the accountant, you are the production manager, the financial manager, you are the marketing manager. You just want to be everything. But you know my own principle, which I believe is tenable, is it is better to own 10% of something than to own 100% of nothing. All right? Call people in. If you can't raise the money, look for people who have the money around you and say, look, I have this idea, and it will do this, it will generate this, it can generate this, we can sell it here, we can sell it here. At the end of the day, we can make this kind of profit. Would you like to be part of it? That was what I did. If you hear of Goshen Mobile, it's not owned, you know, solely by me. We have 1-2 members of this church and 1-2 other people outside who are members of Goshen, who put their resources together for us to be able to go ahead. All right? So, you don't have to own 100% of it. Then, how much will I sell? You have to determine your price. What profit am I expecting? You have to be able to work that out. Because many of us go into businesses, we don't even think of the profit. And how do we determine profit? That's a lesson for another day. You go to the market, you know, you bought something for 500 naira, and then you got back home, and then you sold it for 700 naira, and you say, I've made 200 naira profit. Have you made 200 naira profit? What other things do you need to have considered? Transportation, your time, and, you know, carriage. People who help you to carry it, you gave 15 naira to, and so on and so forth. Do you understand me? So that's, you have to sit down and think of that. And many of us also do businesses, and we don't pay ourselves salaries. We say, where will I get it? It's a small business. A business that cannot pay your salary is not a business. All right? Even when you are starting. Are you listening to me? It's not a... See, some of us, we will employ people to work for us, and we'll be paying them. I know how my wife, you know, begins to worry when it is getting to 20. Sorry, I'm using my wife because that is the one I spend 24 hours a day with. You know, we'll be thinking of the salary of my workers. the salary of my workers, and she will ensure that she pays it at the end of the month. And I say, where is your own salary? It means you are working for those people. They are not even working for you, you are working for them. You have to have a certain amount that you are paying yourself also, even if it is 5,000 naira. And if the business cannot pay it, post it into what do you accountants call it, payables or whatever. Put it there. Money that the company is owing. And so when the company grows and have the money, pull it out. It's your money. You have to pay yourself. So you just sell 500, you say 700, you say I'm making profit. But what many of we do that anyway. We do that anyway. What many of us do is that everything is in our pocket. We don't even go to the bank. So you sell everything in your pocket. When Mr. A says give me money, you give him out of there. When you see chocolate, you buy out of there. And that's not how to run business. Business must be, separate from you. All these things we need to think about. What profit am I expecting? How will I return money borrowed? All right? Many people borrow money and they are not repaying. You must repay. Then what return? We go to my shareholders. All right? At the end of the day, when we make profit, how much do I share to those people who invested in my business? Then we are now at the implementation stage. We want to implement. We have generated the idea. We have incubated it. We have done the planning. We have, done our market planning, our product planning, our funding planning. Now we want to, the next thing to do is to implement the idea. And in this place, the first thing you need to do is to choose a mentor. You need a mentor. You need somebody that you can always fall back to. Because, you see, they say 2 good eggs are better than what? Better than 1. When more people come together with ideas, greater things come out of it than when you alone are thinking. Somebody will just say something small, and you say, I wasn't looking at that, You need a mentor. And they are around. Okay? You need somebody that you will be talking to. I still have a mentor in business. All right? Even more than 1. Then the next thing is to pick the right team that is suitable for growth. Who and who do I need that can work with me so that we can grow this business together? Then engage a social media marketer. In this time and age, you need the social media in whatever you're doing. I used to, honestly, if I realized this several years ago, I wouldn't be where I am now. I used to think, how will I sell my product on the internet? It's the market is at Mushi, is at My 12, is at whatever. What do I have to? But I tell you, the greater percentage of our sales today is coming from online. People who will see our website, who will see our blogging, who will see whatever, and they will make calls, into it. And it is no longer expensive. It is no longer expensive. Then test the market with your basic product. Bring out that product. Test the market with it. All right? And see whether they will buy or not. We will get more information when I get to case study, which is just 2 slides away. Then get feedback. Get feedback from your testing. Then respond to those feedback. The person who took us on marketing, told us about the issue of the customer and so on. Then launch your market viable product. That is now the product that, has been tested in the market, that you have gotten feedback on, and you have responded to the feedback. Send it to the market, and then imbibe excellent customer service. As we are drawing to close, I want to bring something to very important to our notice, that doing business, I think Laulu mentioned this. That's why I wanted to bring it in. The art of doing business is like an art of war. If not, Coca-Cola should be sleeping now and say, yeah, we have arrived. Or Pepsi, yeah, we have arrived. But a biggie will spring up from somewhere and will destabilize your rest. So it's an art of war. A Chinese general said this. He said, unhappily is the fate of one who tries to win his battle and succeed in his attacks without cultivating the spirit of enterprise. He said the result is a waste of time and a general stagnation. Hence the saying, the enlightened ruler lays his plan well ahead, the good general cultivates his resources. And according to him, he said you need 5 knowledge, to be able to survive the war in the marketplace. The knowledge of yourself. You see, we are still saying the same thing in different ways. That is your capability, knowledge of the enemy, your competitors, knowledge of the people. That's the market, the people of the country. Knowledge of the army, your team, your management, the people who are going to be working with you. They have to be the appropriate people. And then knowledge of the terrain, that is the weather, the business environment generally. I picked this as case study, the story of Ollie's bread. This man is a friend of mine. We met in a training which we conducted. And as we were talking, he told me his story. He retired from the bank. He tried his hand on a number of things. Tried to do this, tried to do that, which failed. Then he prayed to God. And when we were doing self-scanning in the beginning, we mentioned the issue of the place of prayer. More so because we are Christians. We need that. Then he prayed to God. And he said, I heard daily bread. Daily bread. He shared it with his wife. He said, this was what I heard, daily bread. But we don't have anything to do with bread. We don't have knowledge of bread. We are not bakers. We do not have anything. But he was convinced. So he told his wife. And what did they do? They enrolled for training in a bakery. They went to acquire the knowledge. All right? It's like when we wanted to start what I'm doing now, and when we were convinced that that is what we wanted to do and it's profitable, I had to go for the training of how to do it, where I obtained the training from. And then they produced loaves. After the training and whatever, they bought the equipment, and then they produced their first whatever. And they displayed it in their estate, in their shop, in their estate. And throughout the day, nobody bought their bread. Nobody brought to buy their bread. Then, at the end of the day, they now decided that rather than for the bread to get spoiled or whatever, they carried it and they shared it among people on the estate. They were just giving and saying, look, we make this bread to sell, but nobody came to buy it. We give you. They did that. All right? Then, surprisingly, the next day, the neighbors started coming and say, do you have bread? And they did not bake the second day. Said, do you have bread? They said, no. Yesterday, when we baked, you did not buy. So we decided not to bake. They said the bread was nice. It was fluffy. It was thick. Our bread? Then they started baking. They started just a little over a year ago with 4 bags of flour. Today, in Oradea, Ollie's bread, they are doing between 40 and 60 bags in a day. And they are still, growing. All right? What did they do? They generated an idea. They acquired the necessary training. They thought about what they need to be able to do it, and so on and so forth. And then they carried it out. In conclusion, I say again, remember and get started that ideas don't come out fully made. Even God, in giving ideas, He said, I will not allow you to conquer them at once, but you conquer them gradually so that there won't be too many. It's only the rain that starts from the top, and that's why it ends on the ground. You have to generate it, continue to work on it, by getting started. There's a saying that says, begin, the rest is easy. Thank you for these few minutes that you have allowed me of your time. Do we have time for any question? Or do we have any question? Yes, my brother there. Let's take all of them together. 1. Okay, that's the only question we have. Uh-huh.
I just want to re-emphasize the issue of training because it is very fundamental. A lot of business owners run into trouble because they think they know, but they run into trouble when it comes to training. So it's better, no matter what you think you know. Passion may not be enough. You must go and learn that training. Then please, for most business owners, they run into trouble of record keeping. A lot of business owners don't keep records. You need to learn that habit from day one. For every single money you spend, collect receipt. I tell you, if you want to buy pencil from that woman on the road and you say you want receipt, she would never allow you go. She will walk like a kilometer to go and look for a receipt in the next shop to come and give to you. So learn the habit of keeping receipts. Then On the issue of taxes, don't say the government will not see you. The truth is, plan for those taxes from day one. It is very easy for those taxes to accumulate. No matter how little your business is, you have some tax responsibility. So please go to government, present yourself, and get those taxes rolling early enough so that it doesn't come after you. Now, in terms of legal registration, you see a lot of people doing businesses, and they don't have the legal registration to do those businesses. It is very key. Government can bring down your business just by one single legislation. So it is better you just go and register those business, get necessary requirements that you need before you start. And there's nothing bad in starting small. Nothing starts big. You only just see the people when they are big. Everything starts from a small beginning and it gets bigger. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful comments. What my brother has just spoken about is about corporate, governance. Honestly, it is a huge topic, for another day. Don't say my business is small. An elephant has legs, ears, eyes, and so does a rat. So it is the size that is about. You have to practice, corporate governance. That can be a lesson for another day. I'll take you, and then we.
I have a question for you. I don't know what your experience has been about people in an environment where, in my opinion, there's no law here in terms of when governing the way people behave in an organization. If your driver decides to run away with your worker salary, or your storekeeper decides to run away with your raw materials, you can't go to the police station and say, hey, this man has done this. They will say, do this. And they know. So I don't know what the experience has been in terms of how trustworthy is the workforce now for SMEs in an environment, in a VUCA environment, where we don't have institutions that are working. I want to expand. But then I'm looking at my warehouse. I see salesmen, they collect 100 cartons. He has sold 80, and he says it's out of stocks. In the past, if we catch you, you are going straight to the police station. In fact, they will say, please take me to the nearest police station when you catch them. So it's in your experience, do you see this work culture that is evolving now as a deterrent, or you think that there's a way that we can go around it?
Okay. Your question? I just want to add quickly to what he has said. When I retired from service, my wife and I said we should start business. She already was in business, she's still in business, and she's more knowledgeable than I do. And we started water business, table water. We package table water. Some of you will have noticed that we brought those products here, and we were selling. But what I noticed is that most of these boys that were helping us, they were always stealing our money. They will sell some packs, and when they come back, they find it difficult to give account. Say, you have sold about 200 and something worth of products. You are bringing 150 naira. I say, Mama Lati is here to pay. Ya Sikira is here to pay. When are they going to pay? So 150 naira out of 250. And they will do that Monday, Tuesday, the same story, and for the rest of the week. I got fed up. Within 2 months, I was fed up completely, but I didn't tell my wife because I didn't want to discourage her. But lo and behold, one of them, we thought he was helping us because he wanted to steal diesel. And he took I don't know how many gallons he took from the tank, and he replaced it with water. And I didn't know, so we started the generator, and the generator sucked in the water. And the generator was terribly bad, smoking, producing a lot of smoke. And we were servicing, we thought it was mechanical. I tell you, we have to change that generator. And it costs about 1 million plus. because we have spent so much, we had to close down the factory in the last 9-10 months. We just closed down everything. I said, look, I can't be taking all this money to sustain me as a pensioner and be dumping inside this bottomless pit. So when we are dealing with people in our environment, they are not trustworthy. They will steal your money. They will steal your products. So how do we go about it?
Okay. Thank you, sir. For the idea generation, I just want to leave this gathering with my 3 P's in business. That wherever you see people, there is business. Wherever there is problem, there is business. And wherever there is pleasure, there is business. All this will help us in our idea generation. But this is my question. Aside from the highlighted ones, hiring employee, some that they've mentioned, but as a practical businessman, and with your position, chairman of small-scale business enterprises, I know you could have come in touch with so many things that make business failed. So aside from witches and wizards, what are those things that make a small business to fail?
Well, let me begin from him. I love your 3 P's, people, place, and pleasure, and whatever. That's beautiful. Reasons why businesses fail are so numerous that we cannot, whatever. But failure of a business begins with the owner. All right? As a matter of fact, we will bring it, if I want to go the route I want to go now, we'll bring it back to what my brother said. If a business fails, it is the promoter that fails. And it is not the promoter that fails, but because he does not have access to certain information. And that's why you need to get, knowledge. What we're doing here is a part of it. What he raised, the issue of corporate governance, is a very critical matter in why businesses fail. Of course, if we reverse some of these things, all right, that you didn't do your planning well at the beginning, you didn't think of this, you did not incubate your idea well, you did not scan the market well to see, you didn't even scan yourself well to see whether you have ability, to do this thing. You did not scan yourself to look for your weaknesses, your strength. You did not scan environment enough to see whether there are challenges there that are capable of bringing, and you just go into it. Many of us go into business because somebody else is doing it. So many reasons, a myriad of reasons. But, everything boils down to the whatever. And businesses don't, fail like that. You can fail forward if you actually have done a lot of things. Look, we are not saying that a business cannot fail because it has a plan. No. But what we are saying is that most businesses that fail don't have plan. All right? Your plan will help you, a little bit. Because most times, when plan remains a plan, when it comes in contact with reality, it receives a shock. Because reality is different from plan. And I'll quickly give you an example. The plan we drew, which we inherited from starting our business, is that we begin to make profit from the beginning of the second year. All right? But for the first 6 years, we made profit only once. Didn't we have plan? Yes, we had plan. But we were looking at the parameters in the plan, and we are seeing, okay, this was not what was not working. You have to tinker with this. You have to eliminate this. You have to bring this in, because there is a plan. If there is no plan, there is nothing you have to check with. What you just do is you pack it up and go. Do you understand? Because I still don't believe that uncle's business cannot work. All right? His business can still work. But maybe that's for another day. And for the issues of workers and whatever raised, there is something about corporate governance which he was saying, and I'm still going back to. And I'm sure our learned deaconess, because this is a church, I can't call her my learned friend, but she's my friend and sister anyway. I'm sure she's going to talk about some of these things. We need to have a system in place. Please don't think they are meant for big businesses. No. I'm telling you, you have to put a little system in place. You can have an organogram, even though you are you and 2 other people. You can be the managing director, of course. That's who you are because you are the owner of the business. All right? Then that fellow that is keeping your account, call him the financial, what do we call it? The finance and admin manager. That fellow that is, carrying water and pouring it in the whatever to seal it, your production, call him the production manager. Have an organogram and fit the little people you have into it. Be aware Kuba Shetobe, Loshefin Shekini, Loshefin Boju is as the hand of a artist that he uses it to wipe his face. Do you understand me? When you put these things in place, then when you have system, you should deploy on technology. And it also is not a big thing. There is a way you can be monitoring your sales, sir. There are ways by which you can be monitoring your sales. Getting in touch with those women and not depending on what they told you. Who are my clients? You have a list of them. You have their phone numbers. You have their emails. You are constantly chatting with them. How many did Kabiru drop with you today? He dropped 200. Kabiru, you said you dropped 150. See waiting Alaja Toko. Technology. Deploy it. Call some of these small boys. Tell them to sit down and say, how can I monitor this? They will tell you, I have a brother here. Brother, don't let me mention his name. Who is doing a big business. I'm telling you, he monitors his factory from anywhere he is in the world. And I say, anywhere he is in the world, he's monitoring his factory in Ota. Anywhere he is in the world. When we are together, you say, ST, come and see. Even in Canada, you say, come and see. See what is going on here. Technology, deploy it. Solutions. All right? We cannot have a perfect, plan, but we must have plan all the way. When we come across challenges, which will come, I have cried before concerning this thing. I have cried that I'm doing, but you don't give up. You continue at it, and then it shall be well. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you.
Can we appreciate Pastor St. Kuti George once again for putting us through introductory ways on how to start a viable business? Coming up next to take us further into the summit by addressing the concept of business law is Dr. Agege. Please put your hands together. The more you clap, the faster she comes. I guess we're not clapping hard enough. That's why she's not here yet. All right. Okay, can we put our hands together? I'll be having Deacon Alabi with us first. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I have administration after. So I thought I'm going to be number 3, not knowing that the law. So, and the law we have negotiated, and the law has allowed me. So, please just permit me to do my own aspect. I believe that it's a great privilege to come to discuss with us here. I'm going to discuss as a technocrat. I'm not going to discuss, I'm not a business person, but we are discussing finance and investment. If you have the marketing, if you have the business idea, there may be issue about marketing, but I was asked also to put investment. And just as I said, I'm going to just discuss as a technocrat. I'm an economist, a banker, and a chartered bank examiner. So I'm going to discuss the way your bankers see you. I'm going to discuss that way, and I'm going to say some hidden things that we do not really know about loan facilities and about investment. So I appreciate the team for this, and I believe it's going to help us in Jesus' name. I'm starting straight away from various sources of finance. I've tried to break it into 3. You know, bankers, we don't talk too much. We
everything straight to the point, because we don't market, so we just say it a little, although when it gets to the nitty-gritty, there may be something. From what you see, you will see a hand, and you see some coins, and a small leaf coming from that. What is simply saying is that any business will always start little, but there is no way you can start. There is this element of, you see, finance. That's the coin you are seeing under, and you see that thing growing out of the coin.